Hello, everyone, and welcome back. If you haven't been here before, my name is Tina from Quantum Healing with Tina and Karen. I'm a Beyond Quantum Healing practitioner, spirit releasement therapist, intuitive empath, and remote spirit release practitioner. And today we're here with Karen. Say hi.
Hello, everyone. Hi. I didn't practice this part. It's been a while. Intuitive starseed, energetic healer, BQH practitioner, channel medium, and remote spirit release practitioner.
Yeah. Well, I just wanted to do a little intro to the video we're about to post because it was kind of an impromptu thing. Karen and I were doing a clearing on ourselves because the energies have been really intense recently. And what were you noticing? What kind of symptoms did you have that you noticed you may have had?
Oh, yeah, black eyes. Black, angry eyes.
Yeah, she looked like Oscar the Grouch when I logged on.
Just angry. Just an overall irritated aura type thing. Very tired, no energy, completely depleted, mentally drained and gone, all over the place. Not wanting to get out of bed. Just really impatient. Like the kids, they were just being the kids, and I was just like, I can't take it.
Right. And that's not your natural state of being. So you recognize when something's in your field. And I was like, well, let's do a clearing. And your entities were like, no.
Yeah, I was like, nope, I don't want to do that. I really didn't. I was feeling that laziness, sometimes when we have work lined up and it's just like, okay, we really got to get them done. And it's like right before that we have, before I surrender and say, okay, I can do it. Or we could push it one more day. It's okay. That kind of feeling. I don't want to procrastinating the inevitable, inevitable. I call it inevitable. It was just really heavy energy, and I couldn't. It just took up so much space and a lot of my will, and anything that was trying to get me to be productive was really holding me back from being productive.
Yeah. So noticing those signs, and especially for us working with people, we have to keep our energy clear, we can't go into sessions with entities. So it's really important for us to keep our energy clean and to know when we possibly have attachments. So I wanted to check too, because I've been feeling really ungrounded and a little bit scattered, and my attention being pulled in all these different directions, especially right now as there's so much going on in the collective, and everyone's kind of searching for information and wants to know what's going on, and all of these things taking our attention away from going within and being within ourselves, knowing that that's where the only truth lies. Because when we're looking to our outer environment for truth, it's just going to be impossible right now to find. The deception and mind control is at an all-time high right now. The disinformation that's out there is just crazy, wild. It's impossible to find any kind of truth outside of yourself unless you absolutely know for a fact that this is a fact, this is actually a true, everything that's coming into our fields right now, we have to use our discernment. It's so important right now to discern the information that's coming into your field that you're consuming, because those energies that you're consuming you're bringing that into your field for your body to process, for your mental body to process. It really does affect us on an energetic level. So as we were doing the clearing, information started coming through that would be helpful for you guys, that would be helpful for other people. So I pressed record and we just wanted to share with you what came through just now. So that's basically it, right? Is there anything you want to add?
No. Yeah, I think it's just a really good lesson for a lot of people. Again, like we stress discernment. That's just I think the word of the century. Like you have to have it. And as you level up into more information, you might be caught on without even realizing, caught on into a narrative that might suit your wherever you feel like you want to be headed. And then lack the discernment there too, because you don't know what information you're getting that may be feeding into the narrative that you want, but it may not be correct, like, so
Right.
all of us want so badly to win, like that's what came out too. Like we just want to win, but it's like we just have to hold on to the knowing that we are going to win and don't worry about how we get there. So yeah, we do want to see justice. We do want to see things happening, but not to get so like deadly, like involved or attaching yourself to that one thing. So again, you have to keep asking yourself every which way, even if it sounds great to your narrative, is it true?
Is it true? Right. And because we're all in our own echo chambers of information, right? Like the algorithms are set up to feed us what we want to hear. So if we're not looking outside of that in any which way or form, that's only the information that we're going to get. So we have to be able to look outside of our own echo chambers. We have to be able to hold the higher perspective, trust in the divine plan, that it's going to work out, and put in the effort into holding the light and holding the highest perspective, to holding what's in the greatest good for humanity at this time, because that's the only thing we really can do. Like everything else is out of our hands. So so that's what was coming through in from the guides, Jesus and Mary Magdalene, about what we can do right now, how to protect ourselves from these outer energies, because there's a lot of distortion going on. There are viruses coming through videos. There are actual frequencies being directed at you from videos. That's another thing. Like, be careful who you're receiving healing energy from, because if those people aren't aware of how to checking and clearing those themselves for entities, entities could be working through them to send energy to you. So you have to really trust and know that that person is has an energetic hygiene ritual that they're performing all the time. Like, we always check ourselves before interactions with clients to make sure that we're sovereign and clear, so that we're not passing on any distortions to anyone else. And you have to trust that the healer that you are interacting with, people give free energy healing all the time, but who is behind that energy healing? Do you know that they're checking who they're connecting with and how they're receiving that energy? So that's another big thing, to know that AI is a huge issue, and there are technologies that will send frequencies through your technology, whether that's TVs, laptops, cell phones. This technology can then come through and be implanted into your body. So sealing and protecting your technologies, whether that's TVs, laptops, cell phones, tablets, all of it, protecting that, sealing that off in a bubble of divine light. There's just so much distortion right now, deception. So be careful of what you're consuming. Make sure you're protecting your energy. And the guides have a lot of good advice to offer as far as that goes. And really, I think the best thing we can do for ourselves right now is just to go within and know that the only thing we can really trust in is God and our own higher knowing, and really using that discernment. So, yeah. Anything else?
No. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and like and subscribe and share our content.
Yeah, please share, because I really feel like it's important for others to be aware of these energies and how they work through the collective. That's part of our goal, is to bring this awareness to others, that it's nothing to fear, it's nothing to be afraid of. The only time they have any kind of influence over us is when we're not aware of how they work. you know? So, and they can be really sneaky and tricky at times. So it's important to get the word out and for more and more people to have this awareness and to know what they're looking for. And to stay sovereign and to stay free. I mean, that's our ultimate goal, is to be sovereign and free in every way, shape, and form, whether that's energetically or in the physical. So, yeah, share this video, like it, please. And we love you guys. And yeah, enjoy. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Because they're just constantly devoured.
They're constantly being devoured by the energies directed at them.
At them, like, so like these, you know, the unconscious 3D people, they're just constantly being devoured because they're not aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're stuck in this timeline or that timeline where there's no, you know, there's no miracle in sight or light in sight. It's just the reality that they are, and they're very, it feels very zombie-like energy to me. Because as you're staying indoors, you are, you know, you're slowly getting pulled out of that connection, out of life itself, and it's causing like some, you know, that agoraphobia in people. So, you know, it's an extra layer of fear. So, you know how we level up? This is now a level up in fear. There's a lot of untangling and things to be done. Whereas the people who are trying to fight for our freedom are being, you know, attacked by zombies, and, you know, that energy trying to pull us back so that we get pulled into that timeline where we're trying to create a new timeline.
So they're specifically trying to halt the timeline of freedom.
Yes.
Are they using the AI technology to do that as well by creating bots that comment on posts and such and
yeah, it's
pull
just to
people
keep the
into
vibration.
arguments?
Yeah, it's just to keep the vibration divide. Pull other people, you know, make them sound so crazy that they even question themselves, question their reality, question that what they're fighting for is actually, you know, real. So there's a lot of that feeling crazy talk, and that's why there's, you know, the misinformation that's happening in the community, because it's also causing divides within, you know, that pull to freedom. So everyone has that direction of freedom, but then there are egos that are in place here who are feeding the information, who are, you know, I think, you know, they want to be the heroes of this ascension, but it's still an ego.
Because if we've learned anything, it's that our belief, right? It's our belief that creates. So if we are believing in a higher timeline, that there is a higher divine plan at play here and the light is going to win, that belief creates a timeline, like an actual timeline of what's coming down the road, right? It creates the future by creating in the now. So then there's the other people, the other group of people who are stuck in the 3D narrative, who only see what's happening around them in the physical. So, you know, they're feeding into the divide and then not seeing a higher perspective and not seeing the divine plan. They're creating that timeline for themselves. And so it's like whoever holds the higher vibration and is creating the highest timeline with the best possible outcome is going to win out in that kind of like war for timelines. And the people that are in control know this. They know how we create our reality as a collective. So they're purposefully inserting disinformation and deception into especially the truth communities to divide people, you know, because, you know, some people saying, well, Trump surrendered, Biden's going to get into office, so we've lost, like this is all over. So inserting that belief.
They're creating that timeline too.
Right. By inserting that belief into the community, that will create that timeline. So yeah, it feels like a timeline war right now. you know,
Mhm.
and I think we just have to keep anchoring ourselves into the present moment and to within ourselves and to hold the highest outcome, right? To hold
Yeah.
our vision of the new earth and what that's supposed to look like, what that's going to look like, what that's going to feel like, because it's our emotional body that holds the highest vibration and the creative capability for that. So we really have to feel what that's going to feel like in the future when that occurs, because it will
Right.
occur.
They're saying that if we hold, like the timeline that we want, just to kind of like hold on to that vision, you don't have to continue to share what you need to, because like now, because of all the misinformation, but you can
Mhm.
continue to share the things that you know as factual, as opposed to just like, the hearsay information that no one really knows,
Right.
So like what you're doing, the vaccines, that kind of stuff that we were kind of like sharing before, that it's okay to continue to share that information. But when it comes to the gray area now where no one fucking knows what's going on, don't touch it.
Yeah.
Just hold the vision of the end game that you would like to live.
Right. Yeah. That's the message I've been getting from them too, is, just stay out of it, and hold the highest possible outcome, because nobody really knows what's going to happen right now, because everything is up in the air. There is no solid what comes next. It's like,
They're leaving us out of it, it's with reason. I mean, if they are fighting the dark, they can't disclose anything. They
exactly.
cannot.
Exactly. Because right now is such a it's such a high pressure time, that they can't tell us anything, because then the other side will know their plans, so
Right.
we have to be aware of that and just do our part to
It's a
keep,
higher level of
yeah,
discernment,
right,
another level up of discernment, because
right,
again, everyone is just, even if you're on the same side, there's going to be that misinformation where people are going to start, saying like, this is the truth that I want to believe, and then causing another divide there. So it's like, you have to really be into your heart space when it comes to that. Even with people who, who you share information with that are on the same path. Like, you don't have to, well, they're telling this like just in a general sense, like, you don't have to believe, or get swayed or feel like you need to pick. It's just, take the info, and that's it.
yeah,
It's not going to change anything anyway at this point,
right,
if you're holding on to the end game.
right. And so I'm recording this to possibly share with others on our YouTube channel. So I'm just wondering if Jesus and Mary have any advice to the others as far as protection. I only picked it up like 5 minutes ago with that. As far as the energies that are the chaotic energies that are happening right now, and how to protect yourself from that.
A lot of it is emotional, so it's like, do pick and choose very well who you interact with, who you are getting your information from.
What you're
It's like
consuming.
one of our clients was talking about Cryon, and how he's saying you don't have to protect yourself because you're pure light. And that kind of, like me, Karen, it worried me, because I'm like, how many people is he reaching out to say, don't protect yourself? You don't have to, you know, that's not the world we live in, right? That we, us being students of the darkness, understand that that's not how it works. And especially in a time like now, where you can't be teaching that kind of stuff, where you are, you're negligent on your own protection, and, protecting what is
Sacred.
absolutely sacred. So it's not, again, like what you say all the time, it's never out of fear, ever. Always, always out of love. And if you just hold on to that, like, yes, there are dark energies that are working through us, but you don't have to feed into it. You don't have to be fearful of it. they're the ones who are in fear because they need us to thrive and to live. So just to understand that you don't have to give your power fully into them, even though they can physically like put you down, like where you have no energy to fight. But you know, there are resources outside of that. You know, we're there for that reason too.
Right. And you're never alone in the fight against the darkness, you know, and
No.
this is why we do the work we do, so that we can help the others. And just knowing your strength and your light is the most powerful thing. And knowing that they don't have any power over you as a powerful divine being of the light, but they do and can infringe upon your energy, you know, especially when we're involved in high emotional states such as fear and doubt and worry, which many people are right now. And they are specifically, I picked up the recording after this, but the guides were saying that they are specifically targeting light workers right now because of the light that they're holding and the higher perspective and outcome that they're holding. They're not worried so much about the people that are living strictly in the 3D perspective because they're doing enough damage by themselves. So they're specifically being attracted to the, like moths to a flame, right? So they're feeding off of our light. They need our light to supply them with energy because they cannot create that energy on their own. Because even though they do still hold a tiny spark of source light, it's very tiny, and they don't recognize their light. So they need to feed off others in order to stay alive, pretty much. So, you know, it's nothing to be fearful. It's something to be aware of. And protecting your energy, protecting your space out of love for yourself and understanding that you're a sovereign being, you know, and you are a free being in a matrix system that is controlled. So it's about finding humans, finding our sovereignty again, our freedom again from the system, from everything outside of us, even from these entities. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So anyway, this started because we were clearing Karen from an entity, and it can happen to anyone, you know, and they infringe upon your dreams, and they can very easily slip in that way. So, and one of the questions I asked them was, well, you know, we protect ourselves all the time. We do all this work. Is there anything else that we can do? And they said, no. They said, that's what we're here for. I said, well, if you're here and you're protecting us, why does this still keep happening? And they said, it could be so much worse. So, yeah.
Perspective is everything.
Yeah. Perspective, you know, asking the guides, your teams, your angels, whoever you resonate with. You can even call on your specific gatekeeper. You know, do a meditation, ask your gatekeeper to step forward, develop a relationship with that gatekeeper, and they will protect you and your space. So, you know, this really is a spiritual war right now. This is really not about physical. It's all happening in the higher realms. And we have to be aware of that fact, and we have to be cognizant and protect our energy and protect our space as best as we can right now. Anything you want to add?
No, it's pretty straightforward. I mean, like this is like really the test now for people to know their energy and know how it can feel, like how subtle it can feel or how obvious it could feel. It really depends. For me, it was very obvious. I was just like, but it was giving me that lethargy and that laziness. Like, I don't want to clear them. I'm just so depleted, you know. I don't want to go in and do it. But that's how it works.
Yeah.
They're just working through you to just keep you down, keep you in a low vibration, keep you more vulnerable and open for more to come in. So again, just be aware of the energies.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to reach out.
Yeah, and just be aware of what you're consuming in your everyday life, who you're interacting with, what information you're interacting with, what you're taking in, because these energies are so intense right now that they're even, sending energies through the Wi-Fi, through the computers, through the devices, AI implants, and all kinds of stuff. So create a bubble of light around your devices, around yourself, around your home, your pets, your children, and trust that it is working. Create a seal, have the intention to create a seal around these things so that energies do not come through and into your space and attach to you. Um, and again, this isn't out of fear. This is just about a pure awareness of the collective reality that we live in, because although we do create our own realities, we do also live in a collective reality. And within this collective reality, there are collective energies that we've all created, we've all agreed to, and these entities are part of that collective reality. So this is something that we need to be aware of and not turn the other way out of fear, because there is nothing to fear. It's just the awareness, just having that awareness. So, yeah. Well, anything you want to add?
No.
Okay, well, I'm going to have the guides check me while we're here, because they didn't check me yet.
Field just looks a little bit like run down. Energies like from other, like everywhere around you has just been kind of like plummeting through. So it kind of like took a beating, but it's not open. So so we're just going to restore that on the outside. Lots of energies just like swirling around, so we're going to clear that field too. Inside looks good, just going to bump source light inside as we push out the ceiling up, just to widen it and open it up. For sovereignty, there's just like one level one that's also playing with the body stuff, tired, just an overall like, I don't want to do anything. So
Yeah.
it's kind of bringing it in a little more on top of the energies that are already coming in. So you have your body already taking in all the energies, but then there's this little thing that's just like, let's make sure that if, it's a calm day, she's still going to feel this way. So we have removed that. No earthbounds. Grounding can go up to 100. We're at like a high 70s.
Oh, my body's heating up and I'm getting like tingles in my legs.
Yeah, I'm heating up too. Like my body is really hot. Just looking through inner etheric too, it's the same. So we're just going to open it up, clear it out, strengthen that source light inside too. Looking for devices or anything like that. There's one actually that's also playing in the same thing, like in the fatigue department. Fatigue department. Also, I'm getting also information from the level one that was there is also a distraction. So, the ADD stuff where you can't concentrate, you're just on one thing, can't, forget what you're doing, you go on to the next, kind of like a thought form, but it's a physical thing.
Yeah.
A mental thing. More like, what do you call it? Not mental, like a thought, but it's, the attention span is on fast forward. Just so much we gotta look at, so that's what it's doing too. So that's causing also another place where you're not present. Fatigue is also in there because the body's getting stressed by what it's like consuming, because it's just the energy of what you're consuming is also feeding into that too. So, there's a high rise of energies that are also coming in cumulative of that collective information, collective energy of the outside, collective energy of the universe, and, the war that we're going through. So there's all this information just coming in and feeding into your body, and it's processing. So I'm seeing like the processor, the body processor is just gathering, and it's just overloaded with information. So
Yeah.
I'm taking initiative to clear that information that you don't need out. We're just going to keep the motherboard safe and restored, the motherboard of the body. So like the main system that takes care of just the basic functions of what a body should be using, not the information and that kind of intel coming in that we don't even know if it's genuine or not, right? So we are going to remove all of that information, start that from scratch, and just like clean that out. It's like a removal of like a cartridge, and then we're putting in a new cartridge, closing it. Let's press play. And
Well, just to say, like, I definitely felt that, and I knew there were energies working through me to accelerate those feelings of like feeling like ADD. Like I knew that I recognized that. So one of the things too is like you need to start recognizing how these darker energies work through you. So like I can pick that up and understand that that's probably not myself, or it's magnifying what I'm already feeling, but then causing like this ripple effect
where you're not productive and you're just not, it's not serving you in a positive way.
Right.
So it is, there is that part where you can multitask and function, but then it becomes to a point where it's too much, because it's like you're not, like the information is only receiving halfway and it goes to the next thing and it's not serving at all.
Right. And you have to think too, like I just got this visual of like when you're consuming information, like you're taking things from the outside and bringing them into your sphere, right? So all of this information that you're consuming, it's getting trapped in your field and not processing all the way through. And then you're also giving your body a lot to deal with, all of those energies you're consuming.
Yeah, I knew that has opened up. Actually, I'm just continuing as you're talking. So there was a portal that was open through that information. So the vortex of all the information that came in created like a vortex of energy, which made a portal. So, so we're just closing the portal. The portal was like about here, around this space. So we're closing that. Yeah, north bounds. The home is clear. I gotta check mine too. My room is dark, so I'm gonna go back there after. Just remind me to check my home after, please.
And if you could also check both of the Wi-Fi signals.
Yeah, definitely really good idea to turn off the Wi-Fi at night.
Yeah.
So we're just clearing that out. That Wi-Fi is kind of like intermingling. So the frequencies that are specifically to your unit is intermingling with the frequencies that are coming from up, down, side, like everywhere. So there is like sometimes like that kind of like clash and crash of the frequencies that can create like a distortion there. So we are clearing that out too.
Right.
Because even frequencies are being affected by the collective energies.
Yeah, and those discordant energies really affect the body. But one of the things I wanted to say to everybody was like I only had Wi-Fi installed here like a month ago. Before that, I was just using the hotspot in the area or the hotspot from my phone, but I decided to have it installed. And almost immediately, I started noticing that I was congested in my head and chest, especially at night when I was sleeping. I could only mouth breathe. And then finally it clicked one day, oh, that started when I installed the Wi-Fi. So let me turn that off and see what happens. And I turned it off, and that night it completely went away. So and I was also reading a book about how EMF affects us. So it definitely affects the body. So if you're having any kind of weird, strange symptoms, try turning off the Wi-Fi and limiting your exposure to any kind of EMF and see how your body then responds, because it does have a huge effect.
Well, I did that too. Like before I left to go on vacation, I turned off the Wi-Fi, the internet connection, and I think that's why my plant survived.
Mm. Yeah. And that was 3 weeks without having any interaction or water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So did you check your own Wi-Fi too?
Yeah, just clearing that out. I'm gonna do that my home at the end. I'm gonna do all my stuff at the end. Yeah, your home is clear, so we're just placing that bubble around Mary's budget going around. Platforms are just kind of like parallel to the information coming in, so they're just like natural thoughts of like trying to connect the dots, what's going on. So clearing that out, just resetting, and it's like focus. They're bringing on that information again. Focus on the end game. Focus on what you do know as fact, and leave the rest.
Yeah.
It's really hard because like we're surrounded by everyone who's trying to figure out the puzzle themselves, because everyone wants to win, like that's what it feels like. Everybody just wants to win.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like happen in the wrong path, and it's like, let's just see what happens.
Yeah. I haven't consumed any information today. I kind of just took myself out of it. Sometimes you just need a break,
Yeah, I didn't either. So anyway, you're clear. Just going to my home now. Bedroom needs a lot of work. That's where I spend most of my time. Everywhere else is just stagnant energy. So I'm just going to ask Mary to come around and clear the space. TV devices, tablets, computers, etc. are also being bubbled up and scanned.
Yeah, these devices, TVs, computers, phones, cell phones can create portals, and specific frequencies can be sent through the information you're consuming, so videos and things like that. So just be careful, and again, just bubble them up, protect them, and set your intention not to allow any outside energies to come through into your field.
There's just a lot of energies in my apartment. Portal in my bedroom. Under and over the bed.
Well, and you mentioned you were having like crazy dreams, right?
Right, because it's actually over the spot that I sleep on, one on top and one at the bottom, which is probably why I feel like I'm falling through a wormhole 2 nights in a row.
Yeah. And I just want to say that, everyone can do these clearings for yourselves when you know how to do it. So it's not that we are anything special, like everyone can do this for themselves. You just got to know how to connect with your spirit guides properly to make sure they are not imposters, to make sure they are who they say they are. So that's the first step in learning how to clear yourself, is learning to connect with your spirit guides and how to do that properly. And we can make a video about that.
Okay. Just placing source light in here, bubbling it all up, removing all excess energies, asking the gatekeepers to come forward also for both your apartment and mine. And yeah, just healing it through. Feels a lot clearer. I feel that shifted like right away.
Yeah, and as soon as you cleared your apartment, I felt clearer, and the Wi-Fi stopped being wonky. Because you were like fading in and out a lot. I don't know if that'll come out on the recording, but it was like, yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Okay. Anything the guys want to share with everyone before we go?
Stay positive whenever you can. That's like the most powerful tool. Stay in love and to just know that it's, a difficult time. Everybody's going through a difficult time, but, just to try to stay heart-centered and to focus only on love. That's the most important thing we can do right now.
Yeah, and hold the highest possible outcome. All right, well, thanks to everyone for hanging out for our impromptu video. We hope this is helpful and we send you lots of love. Be gentle with yourselves, and rest and hydration is so important right now. Keep yourselves hydrated. Love you guys. See you next time.